हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज,
आपकी आवाज।
Hello friends, on Shakti, the power of a woman, I Tejinder Kaur take the pleasure of welcoming you all once again. Today is a big day for all of us on Shakti, as joining me on Shakti is none other than the Director of the United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan, Kiran Mehra Kriplaman. Kiran Mehra joined the United Nations 3 decades ago and was posted at Geneva. She has returned to her country of origin after more than 30 years as the United Nations Information Center Director. Kiran Mehra also has been a senior communication manager at the International Labour Organization as chief of web, prior to which she was the managing editor and production manager of ILO's flagship magazine World of Work, and she has recently been honoured the Mahatma Gandhi Seva Medal for the unique role she has played in strengthening people-to-people contact in South Asia. So friends, let's welcome Kiran Mehra and know more about United Nations Information Center from her. Kiran ji, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਤੇ।
Thank you very much, Rani.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਸ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ।
Thank you very much.
So can I call you ਕੁੜੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ?
Kudi Punjab di, yes, originally.
Yeah.
I have been away from the country for a long time. When you say Kudi Punjab di, yes, I am originally, I was born from Amritsar, from family from Amritsar,
Yeah.
but I lived most of my life in Delhi.
Okay.
After which I left India, and I have now returned after more than 3 decades.
Okay, so now coming back after 3 decades, how do you feel? Is it the pull of your country or your countrymen or the love for the country which brought you back?
I think it's a mixture. There's a little bit of everything there.
Okay.
I have to go back a little bit in time to say that when I left India, I followed my mother to Geneva, Switzerland.
Right.
She is a doctor with the World Health Organization, retired now, of course.
Right.
And I decided to go and see how I would like it there. So after I graduated from Delhi,
Right.
Delhi University, I went there and I loved the idea that I could meet so many different people from different places.
Right.
And I had a flair for languages, so I did
Okay.
further studies.
Okay.
And I joined the United Nations.
Okay, so now joining the United Nations, and as you said, you have a flair for languages. Which are the languages which you learned or you wanted to learn?
French.
Okay.
Obviously, I was in Geneva, which is the French-speaking part of
Right,
Switzerland.
right.
And also, once I had joined the United Nations, I decided I wanted to do Spanish. So I also speak, I speak
Spanish.
French and
Okay.
Spanish fluently.
Okay.
And I am proud to say that I do get along. मैं हिंदी भी अच्छी बोल लेती हूँ, and थोड़ी पंजाबी भी बोल
Punjabi
लेती
भी
हूँ.
बोल देती हूँ.
So that's basically, what pulled me there. And I just stayed on. I just
Right.
stayed on there, and that's how my life continued with the United Nations.
Right.
And I think when I joined the United Nations, there was a bit of the passion of wanting to do something for the world.
Okay.
When you come from a developing country and then you are in a developed country,
Yeah.
the first thing you see is, why can't India, when you are coming from India, why can't
Yeah.
India be like this?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that India doesn't have its good points. Of course, the warmth of the country, etc. But still, you want that you would like to do something
Yeah.
for not just India, but the rest of the world that
World,
is
yes.
less able to live in that manner.
Definitely. Kiran ji, what do you think keeps us back from not doing what we want? Like when we go abroad, we see this, we see beautiful roads, we see everything is so proper, rules and regulations. But once you come to India, just coming out of the airport and you find people are throwing things around, they're spitting. What happens to them?
Ye is a question of culture. हम लोग जब बाहर जाते हैं, we go and we enjoy ourselves and we enjoy those kind of things over there. When we come back, I think we go back to our culture of, you know, the typical thing that if you are behind a car in the traffic, you cannot be behind the car. You have to overtake. If you're in a queue at a movie theater,
you must break it.
You must break it, and you have to come forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is some sort of ingrained thing in us. This "aapko nahi malum main kaun hu" kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that there probably is that. But I would like to take this point up in a positive way also. When people come back,
Yeah.
you know, they talk about the fact that why can't our country here be like that?
Yeah.
And when people talk about what's wrong with it, they also try to think of solutions of how to make it better. So
Yeah.
there is that positive aspect to it. But you know, there is so much to change, so
Yeah.
much to do. But every little thing that somebody does will make a difference somewhere. So what I would say is, just do it. Just do whatever you can. That one little thing that you can
will
do
make a difference.
will make a difference somewhere.
Definitely. So Kiran ji, time to take a short break. We'll just be back.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज।
आपकी आवाज।
Welcome back to Shakti Friends. We are in conversation with Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kriplaman. She is the director of UN Information Center for India and Bhutan. Kiran ji, United Nations Information Center, New Delhi, serves as a focal point for news and information about the UN for audiences in India and Bhutan. What kind of activities come under your purview?
Well, as the name itself shows that we are an information and communication,
Ji.
but it is a two-way traffic.
Okay.
It is like I am the ambassador, if you wish, of the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon
Right.
to India.
Okay.
Which means that my mandate is that I take the campaigns, messages, values, etc. of the United Nations
Right.
and position them in India and
Okay.
Bhutan.
Right.
And at the same time, and I will explain to you further what that means.
Yes, yes.
And at the same time, take back the best practices of what is happening in India
Okay.
back to headquarters so that the best practices can be disseminated globally.
Okay.
So this could be, it's very, very diverse. It could be, I could be in the Rashtrapati Bhavan discussing something.
Right.
And the next day I could be in Dharavi slums in Mumbai.
Okay.
Working on sanitation with a school for the underprivileged, trying to
Right,
tell them
right.
what is it, why are we asking them to have toilets? I mean, I'm just trying to show you
Yeah, just an example,
the example
yes.
of how different things could be.
Yeah.
We work with non-governmental organizations, academia, of course the government,
Yeah.
and the corporates, a lot in the corporate social responsibility. And really, we work a lot with schools and universities because I think, you know, we might talk about that later, but youth for us is really, really important
Really
target
important,
group
yeah,
right now.
okay.
So we would work with them on UN days, the different days, like whether it's International Women's Day, whether it's Water Day. There are just so many days for everything. And these days are just to create awareness. So we try to partner with people not just in Delhi and the Delhi NCR region, but I like to think that we are able to make a difference in creating awareness even beyond in faraway places within India.
Now, Kiran, like as you said, you go and you talk to them, you tell them about things. Right. Now, talking is one thing, action is another part. So, does UN do any action on it?
In fact, no, I don't tell them that the UN does this and that. We usually partner with someone. As I said earlier, we could be with an NGO,
Okay.
we could be with the government, or we could be with other groups.
Right.
And these groups are actually acting. They are taking action in those areas
Okay.
on something or the other. And we partner with them to add value and credibility because we feel that this particular organization that we are working with
Right.
is doing a good job, or the NGO is accredited to the United Nations NG, that is the non-governmental liaison service.
Right.
And the way we do it is that going with them, we are holding hands in a way.
Right.
And we are leaving behind a sustainability. Because if the UN comes and just talks,
Okay.
it's no good, because we have to leave this to the local people or to the national, regional and other people
Right.
to continue the work that is
Okay.
started. So
Okay.
the sustainability is a very important thing in this.
Right. So now the government also, like you said, it's the non-government organizations which partner with you or they join hands with you. Is it the government also that is involved in this?
Well, the government is not involved with the non-governmental organizations, but
Okay.
we work very closely with the government because the UN Information Center doesn't actually work alone. We have a UN family of agencies in
Okay.
India, and we
Right.
work together as one UN. And what do I mean by that? There are other organizations, let's say there's UN Women working on women's
Okay.
issues, there's UNICEF working on children,
Right.
mothers, we have the World Health Organization working
On the health,
on
yes.
health, and we have UNHCR, which is the refugees. There's just so many,
So many,
and
okay.
UNDP, which is the development program. So of course, also very important Food and Agriculture Organization,
Right.
and the Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD, and to name a few. And since we all work together,
Ji.
we actually are able to deal with targeted specific things, and we have something called an UN action framework,
Right.
which is doing projects together with the organizations, but going with the government along this time the 12th five-year plan.
Right,
So we
right.
work very closely with the government on the government's priorities.
Okay.
We are working for the people.
For the people,
and as
yes.
the UN Constitution starts, we the people.
Yeah.
So
naturally it's for the people.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's just like our radio station, which is of the community, for the community, and by the community. We'll stop here for a small break. We will be back.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज।
आपकी आवाज।
Welcome back to Shakti Friends. We are in conversation with Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kirplaman. She is the director of UN Information Center for India and Bhutan. Kiranji, you have been the director of United Nations Information Center for the last 3 years. How has your experience been?
Well, that question would take me 3 years to answer, I can tell you.
Let's
But,
just make it in a few
but-
minutes.
But very quickly, I actually came for 2 years initially,
right.
and I wanted to reconnect with the country. After the United Nations in Geneva, I actually have been with the International Labour Organization of the United Nations, also in Geneva for many years, during which I've also had a chance to go to many other countries, but also visit India with foreign journalists, and we have taken them to many other of our projects, etc., around the country. So this was a chance for me when this became available to come back at a point where I thought, when you feel comfortable about coming into a post, and the fact that I am originally from Delhi, even though I left a long time ago,
Ji.
it was a comfortable feeling to be back here.
Okay.
Now, how's the experience been? I can say it's been wonderful.
Okay.
It's been wonderful, and that's the reason why you still see me here, because the initial 2 years then became 3.
Okay.
And I'm in the 4th year now.
Okay. Okay, that's
yes,
lovely.
yes. So it's been very heartening, and I think the main thing I would say, if somebody asked me, what's the one thing, it's the feeling that you're actually close or closer to the people for whom you've been working for all these years from headquarters, etc.
Yeah.
But now we're actually there, and you see the impact of the work of the United Nations and what we are able to do.
You actually feel connected with them?
I feel connected, and because of that, I have actually renamed UNIC. Well, renamed. I would like to think that it is UN India Connect.
Connect. Wow, that's nice. Kiran, now, like, you have come back to the country of your origin. What about your family? Do your children, your family, your other members, are they with you?
They're in Geneva.
Right.
Although I have had the pleasure of having them visit very often, and I also go back from time to time.
Right.
But it's not fair to everybody to uproot them from their lives for my career.
Exactly.
Although they have all been extremely supportive, and the person who was the most supportive, who actually wanted me to take up this challenge, interestingly enough, was my own daughter.
Okay.
Who thought that it was time that I took this kind of challenge.
This kind of challenge, yeah.
So I think that I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive family. And they do know that my children know that they have a working mother. My husband knows I'm a career person. So I think from that point of view, I really don't have too many problems.
That's really good. So let's have a short musical break. We'll just be back.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज।
आपकी आवाज।
Welcome back to Shakti Friends. We have with us in the studio today Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kriplaman. She is the director of UN Information Center for India and Bhutan, and who has been recently awarded the Mahatma Gandhi Seva Medal for the unique role she has played in strengthening people-to-people contact in South Asia. Kiranji, we were talking about your family before we went on the break, that your daughter really motivated you that you should join this job. Now, do they want to come back to this place where maybe their grandmother or their mom belongs to?
Well, they love India, but they were born abroad and brought up there.
Right.
So much as I would like to think that they have the same feelings for it as I have, I cannot expect that. But they do love to come back and spend time here. But I think my children are global citizens as far as I'm concerned. My husband's American, and we live in Switzerland, and the children were born and brought up there. And as far as the UN is concerned, well, for the moment, they haven't shown any interest in joining the United Nations. But could be because maybe they've had it. I don't know, because they have a grandmother who's World Health Organization, father United Nations, mother UN, and then
so
ILO.
It runs in the family,
so perhaps maybe they're looking for a change.
Okay. Now, I would like to ask you another question. Like your children, you are Indian, your husband's an American. So, do they ever feel like we've got a very rich culture, Indian culture? Do they sometimes feel that they want to imbibe our Indian culture, or they like something about our culture?
Oh, they love it. My daughter recently got married in August in Geneva, and I can tell you that we had maybe I can use the expression one hell of a wedding.
Wow.
Because we had
call it a big Indian
we had the big Indian wedding with all what you do with the mehndis and the chudas and the Indian peras, and getting the pandit from London and the mehndi wali from Zurich, local mehndi wali. But we also had a Western wedding on a different day, which was totally different, totally Western. So to give you an idea that the cultures for them they've imbibed all the cultures and they respect all the cultures. And that is really, really important. Having grown up in Geneva in an international environment, for them the respect of other religions and cultures is really there. They're born into it.
I think basically, Kiran, it's because your mom, you still have that feeling for your countrymen, your culture.
It's a very rich culture, and it's very difficult to just throw it away. And why would one want to throw it away? It would be a good idea to take the best of all cultures and then live life according to those rules. Why throw away one for the other?
Exactly. You should actually enjoy whatever you have.
And we are enjoying it.
We are doing it.
The children, they're very clever. They like their money for Diwali, for whatever. They like Christmas. They like Hanukkah. They like everything.
Everything.
So I think that from that point of view, we're lucky.
So let's have a quick short break. We'll just be back.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज।
आपकी आवाज।
On the show Shakti, we have a very strong woman, a lady of substance. She is Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kriplaman. She is the Director, UN Information Center for India and Bhutan. There's one thing I would like to share, that very few people know that your office was the first United Nations office to have been established in India in 1947.
Yes, I think it's really incredible that I ended up director of an office,
Yeah.
which was the first UN office to have been established in India. And
Right.
actually, what is amazing is that it opened its doors 7 months before India's own independence.
Okay,
So
yes.
it was here even 7 months before
Before, yeah.
that, which leads me to say that it has been established since so long. It has a very, very strong reputation. It has been there during India's ups and downs, and the people in the office have been there providing information to India and to the UN headquarters,
Right.
creating a liaison between very important UN people. For example, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit was the first woman who was the president of the General Assembly,
Okay.
and so on.
Gee.
So it's got a very strong history. And a little anecdote I can tell you.
Yeah.
I remember I must have been 10, 12 years old, or maybe 14 or whatever.
Okay.
And our school took us to visit the United Nations Information
Okay.
Center.
Right.
At the time, it was located in a different place.
Okay.
And at that point, we also had a small little booklet called Basic Facts on the United Nations.
Right.
It still exists, but it's a lot more pages now, of course.
must
And
be.
we all were given that booklet, and later on, we had to pass a short exam that I think has been something that has been happening in schools, and at the end of which we received a nice little certificate which
Okay.
said we had passed the exam. Little did I know then
Yes.
that I would be back God knows
in
how
the
many
UN.
years later to the same place.
Same place, yeah.
So yes, it is a very respected office, and which has a lot of history in its archives.
That's quite an exchange happening here, but I'm afraid we'll have to take a short musical break.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज।
आपकी आवाज।
On Shakti, it's me, Tajinder Kaur, welcoming you once again. Kiranji, my daughter just attended MUN at Boston. Could you tell us what are the reasons why United Nations organizes such events?
Well, the Model UN conferences are very popular all over the world.
Right.
We have schools and universities who are very, very keen. And one thing, when I came to India, I was really amazed to see how popular these
Okay.
are in India.
India, okay.
And I must say that we have so many happening in parallel that sometimes it's a little difficult to even keep up with them.
yeah.
But it also depends on, there are slightly different ones. There are some schools that have international ones
Yeah.
that host Model UN conferences where they bring people in from the countries around, or sometimes
Okay.
far off, depending on the schools.
Okay.
And there are some basic rules and regulations.
Yeah.
These are rather formal conferences,
Right.
which actually, when you call them Model UN, it's a replica really of how the
Okay.
General Assembly and the committees and all
Okay.
meet.
Right.
And there are very strict rules and regulations, as I said, which can be found on our website, unic.org.in,
Yeah.
which tells you how to go about it. And then people contact our office, and we let them, give them some information, give them some
Okay.
backgrounders, and help them along and direct how they should be dealing with this. Once in a while, I would be part of those when I have a chance, or we will have somebody else from the United Nations be there as part of the expert
Right.
group. And I have to say that they are really conducted in the utmost professional way, which is of great pride. in this country.
I'm sure.
We
Hard
try
work,
to
yeah.
tell people that if you want to do it, you have to do it the right way.
Right way, yes.
And coming to the Harvard one, yes, that is a major one. And in fact, many students from India who have excelled have directly participated in Harvard also.
Yeah.
And in fact, there are others happening around the world now that are equally prestigious.
Yeah.
I think that this is something that all students should do because it just broadens their horizon.
Definitely.
And takes them beyond just the small local to regional to national
Yeah.
to international.
International, so that when you go to an international conference, it actually teaches you that how people are doing things, they are differently.
But even if you don't go international and you are able to only participate in India, but if it's well done,
Yeah.
it really brings you so much information. And
It
I
does.
am really amazed at the knowledge of these students
yeah.
and how well they get into the roles
Okay.
of Secretary General,
Secretary
Secretary
General,
of the committees and
Yeah.
other things. It's very, very well done.
So, what is the aim of the UN to get such things done?
The three pillars of the United Nations are peace, development, and human rights.
Right.
And whatever is discussed at the General Assembly
Right.
basically is an umbrella under which all this can fit.
Right.
So by doing these Model United Nations, they are just creating awareness amongst the students of the world
Right.
that there are issues. For example, if you take issues of peace,
Right.
how do you decide? How do you don't just go in and jump into a war.
Yeah.
You know, you need to do dialogue, you need to go diplomacy. And these are the kinds of things that the students are actually practicing when they're doing the Model United Nations.
Yeah, yeah.
Development issues, human rights issues,
Yeah.
very important. They will actually be doing Human Rights Commission. I mean, that is absolutely incredible that these students are broadening their horizon based on the reality of what's happening in the world.
Yeah,
And I think that's what the United Nations wants.
Is
The
trying to make it
generations
do, yes.
to come are generations who are aware of how to deal correctly with the situation in the future.
Yeah, that's true. Kiranji, we are always talking about changes. What do you think of the word change?
Well, change is a very subjective word. You know, something changes. It could change for the better. It could change for the worse.
Right.
I would like to think of change as progressive and change which comes about to make life better
Ji.
for the world, for the people, for the general public. And so people talk about change management. It is
Right.
true that sometimes change creates more problems because people are not that happy. They are comfortable. They're in their comfort zones, and it's difficult for them to deal with change.
Right.
But I think that today people are more educated than before. They can face the word change and deal with it as something that would take them to an improved standard of life.
Kiranji, as we all know, education is the basis for all development. An educated society leads to the creation of a developed country. We will take a short break and be back more for our chit chat.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज.
आपकी आवाज.
Welcome back, Ji. We are in conversation with Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kriplaman. She is the Director, UN Information Center for India and Bhutan. Kiran Ji, your work has taken you to different countries, and you know, with different eminent journalists and, you know, their work ethic, your projects, your programs. Can we know more about it?
Yes, it's been extremely interesting for me, and I mentioned a little earlier that I had come to India also as one of these experiences,
Ji.
and that gave me a chance to go around India, but not just the cities, because many of the projects are in villages, and so it gave me an idea, a chance to go to the grassroots and showcase what the UN agencies, in this case it was the International Labour Organization, but it works with other UN agencies,
Right.
what we were able to do and what were the projects, etc., that were actually making a difference in the lives of people.
Okay.
And the reason was that we wanted that the journalists from abroad would write about these positive things, and this always helps the donor countries see where their money is going and what impact they are making on people's lives.
Okay.
I also had a chance to travel in Pakistan, in Tanzania, in Africa, other countries, in China, and every time I think it was a different experience, but basically I was there for a similar reason.
Okay.
And I think that my experience has been that every country has its issues.
Okay.
So nobody is worse off than the other. There are good, some are better off in certain areas and need help in others, and vice versa for the others. So I think the experience was always positive. Seeing new places, learning about new cultures, ethics, and taking it back and putting it together into improving our future projects.
Right. Like now we were talking about, the work which takes you to different countries. So as you are the UN Director for Information for India and Bhutan, like India we understand that these are the works which you have been doing. What about Bhutan? Is it the same type of work or there's a different?
Okay, so let me just clarify that the other countries I was talking about, that was ILO Geneva days.
Yeah.
Since I've come to India for this, of course my travels are obviously limited to India and some to Bhutan. I must say that India has been an eye-opener for me. I have had a chance to go to places far off. I've been to tribal areas. I've been to places where we work with the widows of Vrindavan, and I'm just giving you an idea of the different kinds of things. And Bhutan, to answer your question, is slightly a different cup of tea for us, because Bhutan also has its own UN agencies there, but the information and communication part comes under the UNIC.
Okay.
One thing which is, because you had asked me what our mandate was, and I think I should have mentioned it is one of the main parts of our mandate is media. We are the main link with the media in India.
Okay.
And in Bhutan, we are trying our best to provide whatever support we can to a fleggling media.
Okay.
They are very new. The newspapers have just started some time ago, and so journalism, etc., is a new thing, and we are trying to bring those journalists to India as part of workshops and seminars that we run for the Indians. And I think that for us, that part is the main job. We also have a very good interagency library, and we have depository libraries and reading rooms that we are trying to maintain all over India and Bhutan.
Okay.
And this is to provide information to those who don't have the bandwidth and internet and so on, or those who just love books. It doesn't matter if they have the internet, they still like to put their hands on a book.
Yeah.
So we are working in Bhutan mostly on information communications with the media. And we also then cover what the UN agencies are doing in Bhutan, and we would put it in our newsletter so that people can see a little bit about what the impact is, because that doesn't exist otherwise.
Okay. Kiranji, let's have a small musical break. We'll just be back.
हो कोई भी मुद्दा,
आवाज उठाएंगे हम,
क्योंकि हम हैं 107.8 FM देश भगत कम्युनिटी रेडियो, आपकी आवाज.
आपकी आवाज.
Welcome back to Shakti Friends. We are in conversation with Mrs. Kiran Mehra Kirpalaman. She is the Director of UN Information Center for India and Bhutan. Kiranji, you're a very busy person. Every day I'm sure you find yourself in a new place, You're doing this, sometimes in Mumbai, sometimes in Bhutan, all that. What is your mantra of keeping so fit and fine and, very balanced?
Well, I have to say that there are times when I feel that I need to step back a little bit, because I haven't had a weekend in many days.
Okay.
However, I feel that since my time here is limited, in the sense that I keep extending it, but in any case, it is limited. I will be going back to Geneva.
Right.
I would like to make a difference in as much as possible.
Okay.
I would like to meet as many people to make them understand what it is that the United Nations is saying, what it is that we would like them to do, how we can partner with them to make that little difference.
Yeah.
And as the UN Secretary General has talked about the future we want,
Right.
we want a better world.
Definitely.
And everybody, including the Desh Bhagat University that we were there for the environment conference.
Right.
Everybody is doing great things. They're all doing it in their own small way. But it's important that those small things that each one is doing,
Yeah.
we are able to bring it to the rest of the world that these things are happening, and to make them understand that every little initiative will make a difference in the end.
Definitely.
And so that is my motivation of doing as much as I can with as diverse a population as possible.
But how do you de-stress?
Oops. Well, I think that I'm basically a happy person.
Okay.
I do go to see Hindi movies
Okay,
sometimes.
that's nice.
That is de-stressing. But I think I would have to say that I have a very good group in my office.
Right.
And we all work in a way that we try not to stress. And I think that I inherited them because I
Okay.
arrived here. And I think they've been working at this long enough for them to take a bit of my stress away on them. So
Okay.
maybe I'm putting the stress on them, but that helps me de-stress.
That helps you to de-stress. That's so nice. Kiran, what message would you like to give to our listeners?
Well, I think that everybody should understand that there's something there that motivates you. There is so much out in the world, and India especially today, it really, over the last 2-3 years, it's been a happening country, and right now it's still a happening country with a lot of changes in the offing.
Right.
And if you are a youth listener, or even if you're not, even if you're a parent of a youth listener, I think that there is so much you can do. There is opportunity there for everybody to pick up something and go with it
Right.
and make a change, and you will see that those little changes are what this country needs from the youth. It's the youth of today, educated, make
Yeah.
the others educated, and then take this country forward to that future.
Definitely. That's really good. So, Kiran, that was so nice of you to come to our show, Shakti, the Power of a Woman.
Thank you very much.
This was Kiran Mehra Kriplaman, Director, United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan. Coming from a developing country, Kiran nursed the passion to do something for the world, and that's why she joined the United Nations. Telling how United Nations Information Center, New Delhi, serves as a focal point for the United Nations for the audiences in India and Bhutan. Kiran told us about her mandate to position the messages, campaigns, values of the United Nations in the two countries. Also giving a message to today's youth, she said, youth with their education should move forward towards bringing a change which would help create a better world for everybody. On that note, friends, I, Tajinder Kaur, would like to take your leave. Till we meet again, please take very good care of yourselves and think about your society for your world.